I think I'm ready.
I think I'm ready. Testing, testing.
It's
1,
hard
2,
to do
4.
with no clip though.
Alright. Put my clip up higher. Maybe I should
How's
keep it
your
lower.
audio? Good?
It seems like it's good. I can't tell if it's popping or not. I have it down medium.
Yeah, it was popping before on the other recording, so.
Maybe I will just move it down a little bit. Just so that I could be a little bit more natural and not pop anything. I've got a lot of drinks here. That's not too bad of it. I just have a drinking problem.
Good?
Yeah.
Drinking
Good.
problem.
Recording.
Cool and smooth and swave. Gotta be swave. Gotta be swave.
Okay.
I saw that once on TV. Bobby Darin said we had to be swave.
Recording. I have 3 cameras that are recording now. Start.
Okay. Okay.
What song did
Tell
you
us
sing?
when to start.
Voice.
Not recording.
If I were a carpenter, you were a lady.
That song's been going through my head, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Okay.
Why do you have
Mic test, June.
Hello, hello.
Why do you have, hello.
Hello.
Why
Hello,
do you have
hello.
sunglasses on?
Here's. It's only 2%.
Because
Yeah.
they match my shirt.
All right.
You can be Mr. Magnum PI. It's 10:40 now. Okay, good.
We're gonna
Need a minute.
for 25 minutes.
Yeah.
Sure. Be what? 11:05? Yeah.
11:05.
Okay.
You can start. So,
Okay. Well, go ahead. Count. 1, 2, 3.
1, 2,
clap.
Clap. 1.
3.
All right. Okay. Hello. Welcome to a talk on a table. Ah, wow. What a great day this is. To my right we have.
Peter Gazzino.
Yeah. And to my left we have. What's your name?
Teagan Smith.
Teagan here. She's our guest for today. Well, hi. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for inviting me to it's Talk with the Table, right?
Talk on the table.
Talk on a table. Okay, thanks for inviting me to talk on a table. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah. How are you doing, Peter?
I'm all right. I'm just living.
You look really cool
Summery.
with those glasses,
Yeah.
yeah.
You're living the summery dream.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, Teagan here. She's really into the whole fitness and exercising, aren't you?
Yeah. So
So what kind of fitness do you like to do?
So I guess what you could say mainly I'm interested in triathlon. So do you guys know about triathlon? Do you know what
There
it
are
is?
3 events. That's all I can remember.
Okay, what are the 3 events?
Yes, I don't know.
Okay,
I
well,
was going to ask you
take
that.
a guess. So
Swimming.
Okay, swimming is 1.
Running.
Running is 2. Yeah.
Rifle shooting.
No, archery, right?
No, but
No,
that's
I'm in decathlon.
yeah. That's a
Oh,
different one.
okay.
So swimming, running, and biking.
Ah.
So actually, in a triathlon, it starts off with swimming, and then it goes into cycling, and then it goes into running. And there's various distances that triathlon consists of. So the smallest distance usually is called a sprint, and the longest distance is called an Ironman or a king course. So it can be called sprint, and then the next distance would be Olympic distance, and then there's like long distance, and then Ironman or king course.
Is there any Spider-Man?
There's no Spider-Man, but maybe
Thankfully, that'd be kind of weird. That'd be kind of weird.
Batman.
you guys maybe could make a Spider-Man or a Batman.
What do
you
you
know?
do? Climb a wall or something?
Yeah, and shoot a rifle.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, like
I don't think, who shoots rifles? I don't think Batman shoots rifles.
but you were saying also maybe rifle shooting could be part of it. So
I was thinking decathlon.
yeah.
So what's the difference between a triathlon and a decathlon besides the rifle shooting?
I actually have no idea because I've never done a decathlon, but I mainly do triathlon. And so I guess my hobbies are swimming, biking, running, but I also like to do trail running as well.
Ah,
So it's kind of like hiking, but you run.
oh.
Yeah.
So have you found any differences between doing your marathons and everything in Busan and back home?
So actually, I came to Korea 14 years ago, and when I came here, I was about 23. I'm giving away my age, but
You're only 19.
Yeah,
You
so-
go backwards. Everyone
yeah,
knows that.
yeah. But I started running. I always was kind of an athletic child or athletic teenager, but I did like track and field in high school. So I do short distance where it's like a 100-meter race, like a sprint race, and then a 200-meter. And actually, when I got into university, my friends were doing these marathons and long distance running, and I thought it was just crazy. But I decided to try it, and I did my first marathon actually in San Francisco.
Oh, wow.
So I did, my first marathon was when I was 21, and I did the San Francisco Marathon. So I decided from that year, wow, this is amazing. So running, do you guys know how far a marathon is?
It was like 23 points, 23 or 26 miles. I can't quite remember, 23 or 26 miles.
Yeah, you're right. So it's about 26 miles. So it's 42.195 kilometers.
Wow. As you can tell, we're really up on fitness. We know everything about fitness.
Okay,
yeah.
so
Well, wait a minute. I'll have to say, I mean, I have done a walkathon before.
okay.
And I think we walked about 10 miles, and we had people pledge our distance to raise money for some summer camp. But yeah, I took the lazy way out. We did a walkathon, not a marathon.
Well, no, so it doesn't really matter if you're walking, if you're running, you're moving, right?
Yeah.
So actually, when I did my first marathon, I thought, okay, this is going to be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. It's going to be a great thing to try. And when I did it, it was so challenging. And okay, for people, when you're doing a marathon, usually the average person, I guess the average goal would be to try to get it under 4 hours. So under 4 hours is a really respectable and good time. And so my first time I did it, I finished in 4 hours and 11 minutes. But that was quite good for the course, because you can have some courses that are very easy. They're very flat. The terrain is very easy, and you can get a faster time on an easier course. But San Francisco is known for the hills.
Yes, I was wondering about that.
Yeah.
The San Francisco Marathon is a very challenging one, so a time of 4:11 is quite good. And I was really happy with my record, but after doing a marathon, your body does not want to run for 42 kilometers. So it really puts your body into like almost a state of shock, I guess.
Okay.
Like your muscles, it takes you like, some people say that each should take about a couple weeks to recover. So after I did my first one, I thought, okay, this was really cool. This was a great experience. I felt so proud of myself. I felt so achieved. I felt very sore. But I thought, okay, every year I'm going to make a goal to do one full course marathon a year. So first time I did it was San Francisco, and next year I did San Francisco again, and then I moved to Korea. So I did 2 full course marathons in America, but then when I came to Korea, I did the Seoul Marathon, was my first one. And I guess the difference between American races and Korean races would be, long ago, when I was running in America, there was tons of women, and the competition was really great, and it was very fun. But when I first came to Korea, there were no women. So it was me and a lot of ajushis running. Because at the time, running was not really a trendy or cool thing, and especially for women. It was kind of something that like middle-aged men were doing.
Well, look at it now. Everybody's running now.
Yeah, so
except for me, I'm not running.
I'm not running either.
The biggest change in versus Korea and America is when I first came to Korea, it was not something that younger people were doing. But in the last, I'd say 10 years, but mainly last 5 years, it's become super trendy. And there's all these run clubs. So in America, a lot of people just run by themselves, they run alone. But in Korea, it's a really big group activity. And so I would say that is one of the main differences in terms of the style or things like that.
Seems that everything in Korea is more of a group activity.
Yeah, definitely more
Eat
of
in
a
groups, exercise in groups, go to work in groups.
Yeah,
have a show in groups.
Yeah, groups.
Have a show in groups.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's like one of the biggest differences is the group atmosphere of it. But yeah, at first, as I said, there was not very many women. But now there's so many women, and there's become this also trend where a lot of women are fitness influencers. And so they're basically running and taking photos for their SNS all the time.
Our competition.
Yeah. So I think that's kind of one of the differences. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and people like me and Peter, we were not really that athletic.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
How do you suggest somebody like us, like people like us, get started with getting in shape? Okay,
so as I said, I like to do triathlon. So that's 3 sports. It's running, biking, and swimming. Or if you want to do, so I first would ask you, what's interesting to you? Like, what thing would be fun for you? Would you want to, let's say you want to do maybe one of the 3. What would you pick?
One of the 3, maybe I don't know, bicycling.
Cycling, okay.
That's the best I can think of.
Okay.
Because with a bicycle, you can actually get somewhere.
Well, you can get somewhere running, but you have to go.
You said you took your bike when you came here.
Yeah,
I mean it's useful.
Yeah.
Okay. Whereas running around a track, just go around, it's not really useful. And I like the things that are useful.
Well, you could always just run down the sidewalk or run down there are like some footpaths. Or at least you could run past the beach. I've seen joggers there all the time.
But yeah, I guess what you're saying though, it's easier and it's like a more effective way to get somewhere on bike. Yeah, so getting here by running would have taken me, 10 minutes, by bike 5 minutes, right? So
right.
Yeah.
Of course, you'd have to dodge all the oncoming vehicles and such, and motorcyclists and everything on the sidewalk.
You see, I think exercising more in the way in Rocky IV, how Rocky trained. He was actually doing some work, like he was lifting logs and pulling wheelbarrow and things like that to get fit. And I think I like that kind of exercise, useful things.
Well, so basically, actually what you're saying, okay, you like biking. So, okay, for example, one of the things that really got me into fitness, I think before I was just kind of someone who enjoyed it. And I said I was doing like 1 marathon a year, 1 full course marathon a year. And it was kind of a hobby, but how it kind of changed to be my lifestyle, I would say, is about 3 years ago, 2017, I decided to do the Seoul to Busan or Busan to Seoul bike path. You can ride your bike all the way from Busan all the way to Seoul. So I decided this is a goal that I wanted to do. And so at the time I didn't have a bike. So I went on to like one of those used websites and I bought a $50 folding bike.
Like did you get one from Amazon or something like that?
It was like a used folding bike from like some Korean like Chungo Nara or something.
Okay.
Those folding bikes are really interesting. It's just amazing to me how they can just take it and pack it up and maybe even put it into a suitcase.
Put in a briefcase, carry it to work. Hey, what do you have there? That's my bike.
Well, so that's good for going to like a short little journey, let's say. But at the time, I didn't really know. I thought, I'd ridden on the bike path a little bit, and from when you first leave from Busan, it's very flat and easy. And I thought, hey, this is easy. And a lot of Koreans when I'm not trying to like stereotype, but a lot of people when they do hiking or some event, they really have like a full set of gear.
Oh, yeah.
Even if it's just like a hike up a little tiny mountain, they'll have like a bear bell, or something. And so I sometimes was like, so I'd see them on the bike path with these like really expensive bikes and all this nice gear. And I thought, I think they're just like exaggerate, like they don't need this much stuff. I thought I'll just get like a cheap bike and I'll pack my backpack and I'll go. And I didn't really do much research. So day 1, I got on my little folding bike, and keep in mind the folding bike does not go very fast. Right. So from going to Busan to Seoul, it's about 500 kilometers. So what you need to think of is how far you're going to ride in a day. But the problem is terrain. So if it's a flat road, you can, so when I looked at the map and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go from here to here, 100. I'm gonna go here to here, 100. And you can easily make that. But then when you're actually on the road and you see that the 100 is straight up a mountain, it becomes a lot different. So first of all, day 1 was pretty easy. I remember I got about 90 kilometers the first day. But when I got to my destination where to sleep, everything was booked because it was during Chuseok. So I had nowhere to stay, so I had to keep going a little bit more. And then I'd had this like backpack, and I'd like tried to attach it onto a rack on my bike, but I didn't actually know how to like attach well. So I just had it the rack attached with zip ties. So like the rack fell off and my bag fell off and it was like getting to be night and I couldn't find a place to stay and I was just like, it was getting to be, and also it was like downpouring rain.
Oh, man. Oh.
Everything happens at one time.
So that first day was really tough. And so I ended up finally finding a place, and a lot of the places on the bike path, they'll be like motels or hotels, and they actually like accommodate to bikers. So they're used to seeing a lot of bikers, and it was like a motel, but the lady that worked there, she had all these bike tools actually. So she was able to help me fix my rack and get going.
Good.
So I was planning to do this whole trip in 5 days.
5 days.
5 days. So second day, I start off and I'm feeling so happy now. I'm like, I did the first day, I'm all set. And I was going from Busan to Seoul. So I leave on the second day and I'm just so happy and I'm like taking selfies. And then the bike rack breaks again. And I'd had my phone on this little contraption, like set up in the, I don't know, a little holder. And the other thing was the holder broke and my phone fell and shattered.
Oh no.
So I'm like, the second day started off good, but then it's like getting worse and worse. And then all of a sudden, it's like beautiful flat terrain. And then all of a sudden, these like hills start. And these are like huge hills. And my things are all like broken. And I remember just like pushing my bike up the hill and like crying, like just like, why am I doing this? And I remember calling my friend who had done the trail before, and I was like, why didn't you tell me that there's hills? And actually, so the second day, I was like I didn't want to quit, but I didn't know how I was going to get through this. Because also, and it's not easy to navigate the trails either. Like, I think they're much better now, but at the time, sometimes you wouldn't know which way to go.
Right.
And I was getting confused. I was like having all these problems. And then I met this guy at the top of one of the hills. And he ended up like traveling with me for the rest of my trip.
Wow, cool.
And so you would think this sounds like a really great story. Like, it sounds really nice. Like, wow, you found someone to travel with. It was great. And it was. And so he'd done the trail many times. And he was this really nice, I thought he was this really nice guy.
Was he an axe murderer?
Well, the last day of the trip, so actually he was so kind. He said, I'll ride your folding bike, because the folding bike was really slow and difficult to ride. And he let me ride his bike. And so I was on his bike, which has like gears and is like an appropriate bike for the journey.
Yes.
So on the last day, I had to go to meet my friends in Seoul. So I was on a schedule, and he actually was going to another area, not directly Seoul. So he was going to take a bus, and then he was going to go to Seoul later. But my bike, which he was on, had the rack with all my stuff in it. It had and I was really naive, and like I didn't prepare, so I didn't know. One of the key points is bring as little as possible.
Right.
So when you're traveling on, like, most people only want to bring like one change of clothes and, you know, your phone and a water bottle. Like, you don't really want to bring. I brought my laptop. I brought 5 outfits. Like, so the folding bike, not only is it a slow bike, but also it was packed.
Load it down, yeah.
It was packed. So his bike had nothing, and it was really light, and it was easy, fast. So I was on his bike, he was on the folding bike, and he's like, take my bike, we'll meet up in Seoul, and we'll switch bikes back, and I'll give you your stuff later. But I had to meet my friends in the afternoon. So I go to Seoul, and at that time, another key point of the story I forgot to mention. When I had met him, he had nothing. He had no phone. He had no bag. And I asked, when I first met him, I was like, "Where's all your stuff?" And he's like, "Oh, it got stolen." And I was like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, I was in," and this was during Chuseok. So he's like, I can't get it until I get to Seoul, and then I'll have to figure it out after the holiday. Yeah. So I was like, okay, no problem. I'll help you out. And he literally didn't have anything. So it wasn't like he's lying, because I was traveling with him for 5 days. Right. So on the last day, I gave him $300, because we'd been traveling also for 5 days, and I like trusted this person. So I gave him $300 so that he could take the bus and, like, you know, get all the stuff that he had to do. And I said, okay, when you get back to Seoul, email me. You know, like, email me, because he didn't have a phone. His phone was stolen. So I get to Seoul, and I'm emailing him. And I'm like, hey, have you arrived in Seoul? And finally he emails me back and is like, oh, I'm sorry. Like, he had to do something and it was running late. He's like, I'll meet up with you tomorrow, everything. So I was like, okay. The next day comes. No message.
Oh.
No message.
Ghosted you.
The next day, then I ended up staying in Seoul for about 3 days with my friends. And I was like waiting for this person to get my bike and my stuff, you know. On the last day when I was going to Busan, he finally messages me, emails me, oh, I'm so sorry, I'll bring it to Busan. And I'm like, okay. Still, I kind of believe him at this point because we were together for 5 days, and I'm like, things happen. And so, but then he completely ghosted me. Oh no. And so I had his bike. So in a way, I'm like, okay, I have his bike, which is a pretty expensive bike.
700.
Well, it was probably about 300 or 400, but it was a nice bike, and mine was just a $50 folding bike. Oh, yeah. But it had the laptop and other things, and I'd given him the $300. So I didn't really think, why would you want to steal women's clothing and like a used laptop? But I didn't really understand this. So anyways, though, finally I get back to Busan, and you know, he'd ghosted me. So I message him like, hey, if you don't respond, I'm gonna go to the police, and like I'm gonna end up, you know, having to deal with this because I don't know what else to do. And so the police sent him an email via the police email saying like, because police can see if he opened it, they can check. So they emailed him and were like, this is the police, you know, you need to return her things, or you know, we're gonna have to take she can press charges or whatever. So basically my whole fitness journey started off with this crazy like Busan to Seoul bike ride that ended up with me getting my bike stolen and my computer stolen and everything stolen. But actually the bike I rode here today on is the bike that I got from him. Okay. So and the end of the story is, it turned out that this guy had been doing this to people on the bike trail the whole time. So I wasn't just the only one.
He was a scammer.
He's a scammer, so what he would do is he would go on the bike trail, and a lot of people on the bike trail are in the situation I was in, where you don't know how to do it, you don't know what to do. And so what he would do was he would find these people.
Find the naive ones, the
novices. Or find people that were generous and would pay for where he could stay, and he would just take advantage of it, and he'd get food. And I think he was just kind of, I don't really know if he could actually steal that much of valuable things. I think he was very lucky with me. But I truly kind of think he wanted to give it back, but I think he actually had no money. Do you know what I mean? And so he ended up the police ended up catching him, and he ended up going to jail. And you know the funny thing is,
good for you.
After he got out of jail, he said he apologized and asked me if he could borrow $50. He emailed me, and I was like, "Oh my God!"
It could have been much worse. You could have, you could have met Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah. I mean, that would have been a lot.
I saw that movie.
That would have been a lot worse. But so basically, this is kind of off the fitness journey thing. But what my summary is, find something that you like. So for me, at first, running was my passion. But with cycling, I didn't really want to compete for cycling per se, but I wanted to travel via cycling, and I wanted to have adventures. And so I think kind of like you, I didn't just want to exercise. I wanted to see Korea. And so even though it started off with like a bad experience, it changed my life, and it made me realize like the world is so much bigger than we think, and we're just a little tiny piece of it. So sometimes when we're in Busan, we get caught up in the drama, we get caught up in the day-to-day, we get caught up in our own egos, right? But when you do these kind of challenges, you go out in the world and you just see that, wow, it's so big, it's so vast, and look what we can do if we try.
Yeah. I also like beer curls. Can you incorporate that into some sort of marathon?
You
beer
can.
Curls.
Well, a lot of the best part I think also is when you're exercising all day, when you're riding your bike all day, you're burning so many calories. Oh yeah. So then you have to replace those calories, and beer is a great way to replace calories.
Okay, there you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm just a little confused about one thing. You said that you had lost your phone, or your phone fell down and you got smashed.
Oh, the phone was smashed, but it was still working. It's just that the whole screen was cracked. So I ended up still being able to use it.
Okay. Right.
But it was just a very like down moment, because it was a brand new phone, and it literally just like fell right onto the concrete. Yeah, so it was tough, but my phone was actually still working.
Oh, okay. All right. Gonna, okay. Sorry, we're gonna cut this part out. He was showing me the time and everything. Okay. Well. How is we still going? Yeah. For a couple more minutes. How is it different being here than in any other country? Have you ever done any marathons in any other country besides Korea and USA?
So San Francisco marathon I did, and then in Korea I've done so many marathons. And as I was saying, like I think one of the big differences is there's a lot of women that are in America or in other countries.
Right.
And another difference would be, it's kind of changing now, but in America people would always try to make it like a themed kind of thing, like wear a tutu, and a lot of people would just do it as kind of a like not a joke, but they would really have fun with it. Where I think in Korea, when I first started, a lot of people were more serious. Like, but now I think Korea's kind of also embraced that attitude, and people are like doing a lot of fun runs. Like there's like zombie runs and color runs, and there's a lot of different things now as well.
And, what I see, what was really catching on are people doing it for their birthday. Birthday runs, and they're not doing it just to get a good time. They're doing it just so they can say they did it. So people, I think, now are kind of embracing that here too, like, and enjoying the running. And I think now also, so the difference I think at first was in America, it was a lot of people just doing it as a bucket list or a one-time thing or a fun thing. But in Korea, when I first started, it was a lot of serious runners, but as I said, not very many women. But now I think the number of runners has really increased, and also the style of runners. Like people are doing it for bucket list, a birthday, you know. So there's a lot of different types of runners now. Have you ever tried thought of running like in or doing any kind of triathlon in any other country, like maybe Indonesia or maybe, I don't know, China maybe?
Yeah, actually, okay. So Ironman is actually a brand. So in Korea, there's the Korean Triathlon Federation, KTF, and there's also other different things. But basically, Korean Triathlon puts on their own races. So when you guys hear the word Ironman, you think of the long distance triathlon. So it's 3.8K swim, it is 180K bike ride, and it's a full marathon. And that's what people think of when they think of Ironman. But actually Ironman is a brand name like Nike, Reebok. But they are the ones who have a worldwide organization, and they put on races all over the world that are only two distances. They put on the King Course distance, which is what I just explained, and they do half of that distance. So actually in Korea, there's only one Ironman a year by the Ironman Corporation. And Ironman puts on tons of races all over the world. So yeah, I would really love to do it in another country. I've done a triathlon in Seattle, but it wasn't an Ironman. It was a shorter one. But I really would like to travel and do them in the future. But the other thing is money. It's really expensive to do one contest. It's about $700.
So is that an entry fee?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
It's like the entry fee alone is like $700. So if I were to travel to do it, you also have to bring your bike. You also have to bring your wetsuit and all your things. So it's also, you have to plan, and it's a lot of, I guess, planning and lots of things go into it.
Well, it's a race, so I imagine there are prizes or maybe a prize money involved. Is there any prize?
That's the ironic thing, is you're spending so much to do these races, but actually the prizes for winning, they're actually like very small.
You get a picture.
Yeah, so usually only the professionals can win money, but even professionals, they don't really make their money that much from the races. They make it from sponsorships and other things. So actually triathlon is not if you want to do triathlon, it's actually a rich man's sport. To do it, you have to have money and you have to have time. So the luxury of having enough time to train for 3 sports, it's, you know, just that alone. A lot of people don't have free time. They're working, they have kids, they have families. So I think the main demographic that does triathlon would be middle-aged men in their 40s that kind of have already established their career, and they're looking for a new hobby, and the kids are maybe they might have kids and they're a little older, and they have the free time now and the money The key point is money, because the bikes alone to do a triathlon, I would say the average cost of a bike would be $5,000 for a triathlon bike.
And how about the bystanders, the ones that aren't really, they're not really out doing the race with you? Are they courteous to people?
So when there's actually like an event,
maybe you're biking along the road and there's a car behind you, and they try to honk at you and get you out of the way.
well, definitely that's a big problem. There's a lot of people that have actually died from biking, and they have to be really careful. But when it's an actual event like Ironman or something, they have the roads cleared.
Oh.
So that's one of the things I do like about doing the events, is that the roads are clear and safe, and you actually also have water stops, snack stops, bathrooms. So everything is really safe and provided.
Oh.
So yeah, I think that is a good thing.
Oh, okay. You said there's a hotel there that normally accommodates bikers and things. Is that very common?
So the hotels along the bike, there's many hotels along the bike path, but if you're gonna go do, for example, a triathlon, the triathlon organization they can help you, but pick a hotel, but sometimes the locations, there's not that many hotels, so it can be really difficult to get to the venues and things.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's a little bit complicated. So basically, I would say it's a rich man's sport, and it requires a lot of time and effort to get involved in it.
And no folding bikes.
And actually to do a triathlon, they check your bike, and they don't allow, you have to have either a road bike or a TT bike. So
How about a moped?
Moped is not allowed.
A TT bike?
So TT bike is a time trial bike. So basically,
Time travel?
Well,
I heard too.
TT, you're not going to go into the 1800s or into the future.
That would be great. I don't know why I was thinking of Pee Wee Herman too, but I was thinking Pee Wee Herman.
Oh, he has a bike, doesn't he?
DeLorean, yeah. And suddenly, if you took those two movies and
That'd be
crossed
cool.
them,
That'd be
Pee
cool
Wee's
movie.
Big Adventure Part 2, and he
Back
walked
to the
to the
Future.
dock and he got a bike that went and sent him to the 1800s.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
That would have been interesting.
Yeah.
That would be.
It's also pretty off topic what we're talking
It
about.
is, but it's still, we're
We
talking
usually-
about a bike.
we
We're
usually
talking
get
about a
off
bike.
topic, right?
Well, earlier you were saying something about Iron Man. I couldn't help but think of Tony Stark. So, I also thought of Iron Man vitamins, so that's more relevant, but.
Yeah. Well, I guess Tony Stark's amazing, and so Iron Man wants to be amazing, so it's similar,
yeah.
So
I think it's about time to end, right? About 11:15 now, right?
30 minutes. Let's go.
It's 11:15. Yeah, we have 4 minutes left before the break and everything.
okay.
So you want to go ahead and break now?
Yeah, we can take a break.
Okay.
Yeah, we can break now, and then we can start over. I'm going to ask you about your show.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, sounds good.
All right.
Break for 5 minutes.
Guys, check your phones. I got an emergency alert, so that disrupted my recording.
Really?
Yes.
Again?
No, whenever.
Yeah,
about 5, 10
it
minutes
happened
ago,
to you again. You said it happened during a Zoom thing before.
Yeah. So I reset it, but we weren't really talking about much. It so happened that it was right around the time that you were saying something about we'll edit this part out.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's on my mic anyway. So.
I wasn't saying much. I haven't really been saying much.
the little jog and shuffle button there.
Yeah.
Okay, you ready?
Ready? 3, 2, 1, 7.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah, ready?
3, 2, 1.
All right. Okay, so today we are at Pole Pole. It's a great place in Gwangan. Peter, what do you think of this place?
I think it's fabulous. I think it's great. I think it's great. Like their drinks here, and I'm looking forward to coming here on a nice quiet afternoon, maybe by myself.
You know what's really cool? They have vinyl records here, man.
Yes.
Yeah, they actually play stuff on vinyl record LPs. It's really cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of selection in the back. There's a huge selection in the back too.
Okay. All right. So.
All right. So
Next part we're gonna. Okay. Next part. So Teagan.
Yes.
Teagan, you have a new show on KBS. Can you tell us about that?
Well, actually, yeah, it's just like a one-time thing, actually. So you guys will only be able to see it one time. But it was basically KBS followed me around and did a little, I guess, kind of like documentary about
You say
my
a
life.
documentary?
in her case, maybe she's kind of doing some athletics. Yeah, documentary.
Yeah, so actually, about a couple months ago, I got a phone call, or actually, my friend asked me, "Hey, I was wondering if you'd be willing to do this TV show," and I said, "Okay, well, what is the deal?" And she said, "Can I give them your name, and they're going to contact you?" And so KBS contacted me, and they did about an hour phone interview, asking me about my life and things like that. And then after that, after the hour phone interview, then they ended up coming to Busan and interviewing me. I didn't realize like they were in Seoul, and they came all the way down to Busan to do an interview. And then after that, they told me, "Hey, we chose you for our program," and they ended up following me around for about 3 weeks, and it was a lot of filming. It was reality, but the thing is, whenever they're filming something, they have to get a lot of different shots and different angles.
Right.
And so even though I would be doing, like for example, if I'm drinking a coffee, it's like they want to watch me buy the coffee. They want to see me hand my credit card. They want to see me taste the coffee. So it is reality, and I'm doing what I normally would do, but I have to do it slower or like explain why I'm doing it.
And more times.
Yeah, more
many
times.
shots. Wow.
So it is like when you guys watch the show, you can search. I think right now it's on KBS like replay or something. You can watch it. It was on Tuesday, August 11th. And the show is called My Neighbor Charles. It's called Eat Cheap Charles. So it's basically, it follows foreigners around and takes a little glimpse of their life in Korea. And I guess the focus of mine, a lot of foreigners here, get married and have a kid, and they, have this like Korean and multicultural mixed family, or how do you say that?
Multicultural.
A little bit of both.
Family?
Yeah.
But I guess my life is, I'm not married and I'm single and I'm still living in Korea.
You hear that, guys? She's single.
So it makes it a little bit different than the typical, I guess, story line that they had. And they basically followed me around with a focus mainly on, I guess, my sports and triathlon. And then also they show my house, like my home life, and they show my going to work, and they show all those things. So it was a pretty interesting experience.
That sounds really neat. Now, you said you had to take multiple takes. I saw a trailer or a preview, a commercial of it. You're dumping water on yourself while on a bike. How many times did you have to do that part?
That was actually not multiple takes. That was real.
Thankfully, that's a lot of water.
Oh no, you didn't do it. You have to get in this angle here. Dump it again. Dump it down there again. Yeah.
That was real. Actually, it was so hot. We were doing like a competition, and so I was multiply doing it over and over. So that was real. Yeah, that was real.
I just pictured you. Sorry, I was just picturing you like getting some coffee earlier, and then after some time, the coffee gets drunk, and then, oh no, we have to get a better shot here. Okay, order some more coffee. Yeah. And by the end of the thing, you're like shaking.
It kind of was like that. Yeah, Do it again, do it again. For a lot of the things, like they want it. So actually, one thing, when they're filming my finish line, I finished the race. It was 9K run, 63K bike, 9K run, and it was so hot. So when I actually finished, I was dying. And then they said to me, Teagan, we didn't get the finish. Can you do it again? They had me. I had to run the finish 3 times.
In a row?
In a row, yeah.
Wow.
Well, continually for them to get the shot.
And
so when you guys watch the actual KBS thing, that is not my real finish. That was the 3rd time I finished it.
Oh.
So it was.
Did you have other stand-ins there running?
Stunt double.
Or did it just make you look like you did it alone? You're very fast.
I want a stunt double. Yeah, I want a stunt double, but I did not have a stunt double.
Oh, okay. Okay, the other part of the trailer I saw, I was confused to what I haven't seen the show, but I was confused to what the show was about. One part you're dumping water on yourself, you're on a bike and all that stuff. Next part you're in your classroom doing some teaching, and then all of a sudden you're on a yacht with champagne in your hand. I wasn't sure what the show was. Was it a party show? Was it a teaching show? Was it a exercise? I had no idea.
Yeah, so it's actually.
So it's everything.
Everything. So it
Your
kind
whole
of is
day.
showing my whole life, but I think.
Your whole life, your whole day. That's
whole
an exciting
life, whole
day.
day. So, yeah, I think the funny thing was, I've planned yacht parties before, and I had planned to do my birthday on a yacht. But the problem was that once KBS decided to film me, I had to do this. I'd already told them I was doing this, and I was planning to do it. But then a lot of people didn't actually. So for my birthday, I rented a yacht, and you can have up to 28 people on the yacht.
Right.
But the problem was, a lot of my friends actually didn't want to go because they didn't want to be filmed. And so it was harder to. First of all, it was hard to get people that wanted to be filmed, because a lot of people were worried about their face being on camera and the COVID-19 situation, and also just if they're not sure, what kind of how the KBS would edit the footage, because the problem was actually, so they filmed the whole yacht party, and so that was like 3 hours on the yacht, all of these things. But, and also, we're drinking alcohol and things like that, so you don't want it to get you don't want to look bad. But the problem was that same day, my birthday's 4th of July, it was the incident in Hyundai. There was an incident with the U.S. military.
Wow. What was that incident again?
They were like shooting some fireworks, and they were doing...
Yeah, not at the beach, in the actual road that leads from Subway to the beach.
And not wearing masks.
A lot of people... A lot of bystanders were there and everything. Very dangerous for everybody.
Yeah.
Very bad. Made Americans look bad.
Yeah. So and my birthday's 4th of July. Yeah. So the theme is like red, white, and blue, and doing things like that. So I think they had to edit out most of the yacht footage. So actually at the very end, after the whole clip is run, they just play a tiny bit of the yacht footage.
I remember seeing some Facebook shots of you at your birthday. Still pictures. They look so professionally done, like it was a Gap commercial.
Yeah, actually though, we did have a professional photographer.
Yeah, I thought so. It looked very, very professional. Everybody was posing a certain way, and had the right angles.
The posing was natural.
The rule of threes were. The
posing was natural. We didn't actually do that, but I did have one of my friends. His name is Garrett. Actually, we let him, he's my friend also, but so for each person, basically if you want to rent the yacht, for 1 hour it's $300. And then with all the food costs and like the decorations and everything, like basically what I did is I had it down to $60 a person. And I let Garrett though come for free, and he just was photographer. So we kind of, I think because when you're on the yacht and you're drinking and you're having fun, you don't want to have your phone out all the time and taking selfies, or the photos don't look as good. So it was nice to have a photographer there as well. But so yeah, if you guys are interested in a yacht party, you can rent yachts in Busan for $300 an hour for 28 people, and yeah, pretty cool.
Hey, that's free advertisement.
But yeah. So maybe I should do it again. Yeah.
Yeah, always do that. Yeah, and invite us next time.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So it's pretty fun. If you guys have you guys ever been on a yacht?
I've been on a yacht, but never went anywhere. Just walked
in the
on
bay,
the yacht.
or
No, just walked on the yacht.
Oh, just walked on, but didn't go.
So this is pretty cool. I want to go somewhere. I can't afford this as I stepped off.
I
It was at a boat show.
I think a while back I was with a friend, and I'm not sure if it was actually technically a yacht or just a sailboat, but we did go around Guang'an and go I guess under the bridge, of course, and go out towards Haeundae. But yeah, I'm not certain of the vessel. I'm not sure what kind of vessel it was.
Pirate cruise?
I remember one year I was supposed to go meet up with some friends and go on that, but they had gotten there too late.
Oh, the pirate cruise. I
Yes.
forgot about that.
I'd like to go on that.
Drunken rowdy around the bay. They still do that?
I don't know if they go in a drunken manner, but unless the guests are there and a bit tipsy. But I'd like to do that if it's still
do it
done.
anymore. I heard. I don't think so, but it looks
Yeah,
really fun.
I haven't seen the pirate ship out of the beach. I mean, it was always strange to see. You're right in Guang'an. You see this big
Look how cool this is,
pirate
by the way.
ship go by. Huh?
Look how pretty this is.
Oh yes, they make some very pretty drinks here. Pretty good drinks too at Pole Pole.
Mine's not quite as pretty, but it's just as tasty,
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah, it's what, vanilla?
It's a vanilla latte.
Vanilla latte.
Can I taste yours to see what now you can?
Oh, I like this better. Okay. Well,
Actually, I might. Maybe.
yeah, this is the kind of banter we usually cut out. So back on topic now.
Okay.
Back on topic, not talking about drinks anymore.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, I used to see the pirate ship in the bay. It was always strange to be at the beach, see a big pirate ship go by.
Yeah.
It's like, holy wow.
A
It's like,
little-
what year am I in? Is this like 1600s or what?
Yeah,
There's
it
a
is.
pirate ship out there. They're gonna attack us. They're gonna come aboard.
1725, maybe.
Pirates are gonna come to land and pillage us.
Was it a man of war, or was it maybe an East Indiaman?
It was just a typical pirate ship you would see in those pirate movies.
Okay. A typical
Yeah.
one, yeah.
Typical pirate ship.
Typical pirate
Yeah,
ship.
yeah, the Jolly
A chariot to
Roger,
the sea.
Jolly Roger out there. Yeah,
The Jolly Roger, yeah.
a Jolly Roger flag. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
yeah,
Some of them were Roger, and some of
Some
them were named
are-
Roger, and they were quite jolly at times.
yeah. They were jolly,
Drinking
especially
their
with
rum
rum.
rations.
Yeah.
With jollifications all around.
All right. Well, I think we have enough. Let's wrap this up now.
Okay.
All right. Well, that's been a talk on the table. Before we go, I do want to announce something. Now, next episode is going to be a hat episode. A hat episode.
That's fantastic.
So
I've
what
got
we're
at
going
least
to do? What we're going to do with this is we're going to have you guys at home, whichever camera I'm on. You guys are going to leave comments on YouTube and on our Facebook page and Twitter page. You guys, what we want you to do is comment on what topic you want us to cover next time. And what we're going to do is we're going to take all those comments, print them out, put them on a little piece of paper, put the paper in a big hat, have a hat sitting on a table, and while we're recording the show, we're going to pick a topic from the hat. We'll talk about that.
Wait.
Yes.
What? I'm a little disappointed now, Danny. I was thinking I was going to be able to bring all of my hats,
You
and
can
we can
bring all
actually.
your hats and wear them too.
I could bring my hats and just
You
bring
have
them
a
as
lot
we
of
talk.
hats, don't you?
I have almost 20 hats.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So are you going to leave a comment?
Well, I'll just tell you guys. I want you to put this in the hat. I think the topic should be his hats.
Okay. Peter's hats. Okay, and so you guys do that. Leave comments on Facebook, Tinder, Twitter.
Tinder.
You do that every time.
I do.
Lonely.
Facebook, Twitter.
Tinder.
Yes, he's a little lonely. Come on. Give him some love.
Okay, let's try this again. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Where else are we? We don't have Instagram.
The internet. We're on the internet.
Yeah, or just meet us around town and say, hey, I want you to do a topic about Peter's hats.
Mm-hmm.
Or
Hawaiian shirts.
where is Tommy? That's always a good topic. Okay, so let us know in the comments and Twitter and Facebook what our next topic will be. Teagan was
Peter's hats.
Peter's hats. Okay, well,
They're not that special.
Teagan, it was very nice having you
Yeah,
here.
thanks you guys. I had a lot of fun, and it's really great table talk. Talk table
Talk
on the table.
on the table, yes.
Yes.
We're having a talk table.
And a nice table it is.
Yeah, very nice table. Put that in that too.
Yeah.
Talk about tables. Okay. All right, so it was very nice having you here.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Of course.
And I'm sure you have a very busy day, so we'll let you go on your way.
All right. Well, it's great, and I will stay and watch your show more often. It sounds really fun.
Yes, it is a fun show. And again, we're at Pole Pole in the Gwangan area of Busan. They have very good coffee. They play vinyl records. A very good place to just hang out and maybe take your friends, or if you have dates, you can take a date here. Listen to some nice music. Just chill out and relax.
I really liked their plum tea the other day.
Plum, yeah.
This
have
is
some
the
plum
Cloud
tea.
Coffee. Really nice.
Oh, that's Cloud Coffee.
Yeah,
Okay.
really pretty too.
Well, I just had a cafe latte, which is normal. Well, anyway, guys, that's all for today. See you later. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Have a good day.
Bye. Okay.
Cool. You guys are pretty professional with all these cameras.
Thank you. Well, we're not professional yet because they're just cell phones.
Well, but these days it's pretty good footage on cell phones.
Yeah. But the problem with cell phones is they're not built to run for a long time. So that's why we need a break.
Well, it's not just that. It's also
Well, that
large
is,
audio files and video files. They tend to be a bit big.
you're kind of.
Sending them via PayPal or
Teagan, can
SMS.
you mind moving your foot? Thank you.
Yeah, sending them via, I guess, SMS. That's not always convenient. They're in a big chunk.
Yeah. How are we, Mr. Tommy?
Yeah.
Are we good?
Yeah. That's very good.
Did you turn that off yet?